Okay, so this week I'm going to be building the cloud trading system again. It's not the Ikamushu cloud, it's the tight 2-period to 4-period moving average. And it's the order in which you stack the smooth Heikin-Ashi is what it really is. So it's a smooth by method, and you get to pick the method, one of 4 methods, and you get to pick the length of each method. So I just have like three moving averages, but they're histogram form, so visually it's easier to look at it and say, I have this color, I should do this. And this is the essence of trend trading, is I have a bias, I should be trading in the direction of that bias. But you have to have a bias that is holding on in some regard for at least more than one bar. Otherwise, you're going to get whipsawed because your bias will be changing moment by moment. The whole point of trend trading is to lower the frequency and increase the probability. You could still push the system too hard. If you have a long moving average, you can be on the 1-minute chart and the 5-minute chart and make the claim that you are trading in the direction of the trend. So even if you get in without a stop and hopefully getting in on a plunge in the direction of your so-called trend, but maybe you're just ranging and you'll make money. If you're buying deep, you're going to make money because you're range trading now, whether you admit to that or not. If you keep adding to a loser, you're a swing trader. You can kind of tell who you are. If you're getting out within 40 seconds because your stop is so tight, then you just got a lot of, you try that on a demo and you'll just realize that's just futile. It's better just to lay a trap for the price to come into. And some kind of frequency that is a whole different style of trading on top of what you're, like, you can't just be a songwriter and write in one style. How could you ever pay the rent? If you're playing country music, if you're playing metal, if you know how to transform and be like a adaptable person. Also with this 4-period cloud, or this 3-period, just some guy emailed me showing he's making money. Yeah, because this is also, you could give this to somebody that doesn't know how to trade and say, when you see this color, hit this fucking button. So you only have buttons available that fit the currency you're on. That when you see this color, and we could also have the counter color on these bars, which you don't have on here. I just have literally the range. And the range tells the story of each 30-minute bar here, that the volatility of each. And if we put up a 20-pip grid, we could probably say, just by gauging it against the background of a 20-pip grid, oh, it's like 20-pip bars in the half hour, like, it's time to get in with a tight stop here for maybe a 1.5 hour ride and make 30 pips or 29 pips, And there's also, I haven't put the 1-period moving average on top because I didn't put in the, so I put this in the hightail thing under cloud trading. So you should, I'm going to put a link to this indicator, but I did not put the 1-period moving average in the template. And you just have to build your own template. I can show you what's in this one, but it's really about how close do you want to place your orders, and how often can you trade, and what are the best setups in a trend system. But all trends come to an end, and you can also see, even in this thing, that the market's still leaving these huge gaps. And when the volatility dies down, and if you make your cloud system only go to a 4-period moving average using 3 methods and layering the candles, here I made I can put any size candle I want to try to create a 3D cloud. And this goes on forever. I mean, the variations of color and which color is going to be the down color. I could make the candles switch colors. I mean, the range. And so you'd actually counter trend trade. You get in when you are on the 30-minute cloud here. Anytime it is down, closes down, you're buying at the market at the end of the half hour. Now, you can't do that all the way into when it's not, you can't be a blind robot and just keep pulling the trigger when you're already up on the trade and you should have been cashing out on some of that stuff and taking the 12.5 pips that were available. You just can't sit there and think well, I'm going to get in here and just go back to sleep. No. You got to be scaling out of something. If you're getting it at the market, now you really got to be scaling out. You could have scaled in and dumped everything when it came to a certain level. That's at least you're softening the entry. If you soften the exit because you got in hard, that's when it's kind of you have to do that. You have to do that because you realize that the volatility is picking up, and now you're up so big that if you would hold on for one more 40 seconds or 40 hours, it's a whole different equity on your account. So you have to realize that at some point that with size comes a very harsh equity swing in your favor and out of your favor. And if out of your favor bothers you, then you obviously, if you're uncomfortable, you got to just back it down a notch or open a new account, test out a new broker, test out a new method. And then if your system works, you should be able to explain it to somebody in 3 minutes. If you have to tell somebody, well, you got to understand what, see this gold, I mean, you just have to be able to say, okay, this is what I do. And then people say, well, what happens if you're wrong? So you're always doing that. I'm sure in the kitchen people are experimenting with new recipes. Let's hope, right? We're not sitting there making the same fucking eggs maybe we are, right? And maybe that's what trading consistently means, is doing the same dumb shit over and over again. Rinse and repeat. So in this cloud here, here's my secret formula for this one, is I'm going with the idea that I'm going to come in with the 100 pip handle, the 50, the spread matters. I've got a 16 pixel wide method 3, smoothing of 4, method 3, smoothing of 4 period. Here I've got the method 2 with a 2 period, smaller inside. And then the very tight method 1 with a 2 period. So a very subtle difference between these last guys. And you can make all sorts of, whatever, different colors. I try to make the cool. I always think when the market's going down, it's cooling off. When it's going up, it's getting warmer. So I try to make the warm colors up market. And I think you get about, 64 colors available in Windows. And then the bar here, I think, is only 4 pixels wide or something. I'm not sure. But it's just called bar. So I uploaded this exact indicators. You have to just build your own, how you want it to look. Some people aren't going to, they can say it's redundant to have these two. Yeah, these are so close together. But it's a dramatic, and it looks cool. Okay, this is like a Lego kind of trading template. Think Lego. Think fun. It should be fun to trade, honestly. So I get, without a trade plan, though, all these indicators are kind of just visually stunning, but you can't make no money. On the 1 hour chart, I'll compress it one chunk here, so it'll kind of give a whole different visual and give us at least looking back 2 days. So at this point, you could tell somebody, and this is possible. You could tell yourself, but you couldn't tell somebody. Well, I guess you could. Okay, what we're talking about, depending on which time frame you expose somebody to. Now, if you have somebody that is looking at the half hour, and as soon as this thing turns blue here, let's say, all they do is sell every half hour without a stop. Now, that's not something I would do. But if you told somebody to do that, that's never traded in their fucking life. They're going to do that. This is the funny thing, that if you told somebody, it's blue, they call you on the phone, it's blue, keep selling. I wouldn't do it because I would see this thing rip up, and I want to be the guy scalping against the trend traders. You don't understand. It's not it's like you just don't want to do that yourself, right? It's just such a dumb fucking thing to do. Like, you want the robot to do that, but the robot could fuck it up too, because it would go into like this, oh, you want me to do that? Now you can see here this beautiful cloud move here. Okay, this is when it's going to crush you. The person calls you up and says, you told me when it was blue, sell. And I've been selling. And I thought, since I made so much money the last time you told me to do that, I thought, well, just to save you the effort of calling me, I sold a lot right here. And you're like, you did what? Well, you told me every time it's blue, plus they sold into this thing. Okay, see, there has to be some money management. This is why you can't tell people how to trade anything, because if they don't see the overall structure, you cannot get lost in these fucking clouds. I'm just going to put it out there. People, you got to have another reference other than this is bullish, right? This is why trend trading is hysterical. You've got to be the guy that is entering on this plunge here, and you see that it's about this situation. All these stops, these hard stops that are trailing, irregardless of the cloud, once that gets flushed out, right back to this top, and I haven't put the line chart on top yet, which would tell you the internal story of how we get there. There's probably, we can only imagine that the line chart looks like something like this. There's closing prices that live inside of these blocks. You might call them trading blocks. These are the ICT trading blocks revealed. So, but we can only imagine there's probably some crazy shit in here, and maybe the news came out. We've got to imagine that this drama goes on forever. But why does the market reverse here? It's because once it shaves all this out, all the way back to literally the beginning of the previous day, this must mean something. This is when they roll over and do the whole swap thing. So this is when everything rolls over. This must be an important price. It's also 50 pips down. And maybe you had sell stops stacking up here, and you're trading the cloud based on it's showing the vacuum left behind by price, right? When it's screaming up here, you're looking at it's revealing the very near vapor trail vacuum, not this big one here that's stacking up inside that, but at some point it's going to crack. Now this vicious down move, if you're running buy stops on top of that, because you're getting in counter to the trend, people. And even here, if you're trying to sell into this, you got trapped here, but here you made it up, right? See, this is the first trailing stop entry without being trapped. Counter trend trading. This entry. Also, if you're selling new highs into that at the same time, and these come to a point here where it's had it. Here was an easy, depending on the spread, this was an easy pick up a few pips on that. But each one of these moves is so unique that it's like this, and it does the same thing again, right? Gets all tight up here, and then bam. But it's never exactly the same way again. Never. This plunge is not like this plunge, even though they're both blue. There's a lot of misconceptions that you could just same mistake people make with Renko. They think, oh, I'll just on bricks, I get it. Lego, I got it. Yeah. Wait till you have to pull the trigger on this, right? Now, obviously, it looks like we're banging on the ceiling here, about to go through, but we could still have another crush to here. Are you going to put buy limits in here? Well, probably. If you want to pick up something on the rebound, whatever it is, donate a certain amount of your count to this entry, and you're sitting here saying, well, I got sell stops trailing, and maybe this time frame is, you're over trading this. This is a half-hour chart, don't forget. So if I put the moving average on top, insert indicators, trend, moving average. Period of 1. Simple. Doesn't matter if it's simple or exponential. And I'm putting it in the open, which I forgot I was doing a video about that. So I always put this on the close. So we're watching it happen real time, and it's about to close. And this tells a story of structure because it's the linear snapshot of price over time. Because you can see these wicks, all this drama here, we could never sustain those prices. Structurally speaking, in the 30-minute chart, you can make the argument that this double top became a bottom later on, and even the trend traders could take this trade because of a 2-period, and a 3-period, 4-period moving average cloud. So very tight cloud trading is what this really is. So you can jump on these things if need be, right? You can make the argument on the fly. The half hour is about as thin as I would slice it. Here you could say, well, we got this triangle here. If you can see the compression of the bars and it drifts up, there's a doji. You almost revisit that. Not the best entry here for a top bottom. This double top becomes a bottom, but it's kind of the end of the trend. Because what's more looming is this hole here, which you could probably see on the 4-hour chart. If we switch gears to the 4-hour chart, we would see that probably show up. So I can go to the 1-hour chart and see those same structure points. Let me go to the... Okay, so here is the 1-hour view. Now, this is when you're... you really don't want to have somebody sell every hour into a blue cloud. If you only take the counter trend moves of this move, and then there's this climax move, 3 sells. This one you're taking because it's blue, even though bottoms become top. Theory tells you that this should be a place that people are probably going to, if they thought that was going up there, this is the pivot, and they sell very heavy into that, and we go smashing into fresh territory that takes us back to here. So we even get a sell here into the blue cloud with a perfect structure here, but we didn't need the cloud. Some people want to see that. They want to see what the last, of course I'm using a 4-period moving average trend, so very tight trend. This is the big pivot now. We know there's sellers up here. So, you know, you really have to kind of have a clue of where the closing prices are. And we also have this beautiful trap at the round number. Last gasp. You can also just draw your trend lines really easy on closing prices. There's no ambiguity. It's not, do I draw it here? It's fucking obvious. Let's hope. So it would look like a Gann fan. When you get done with this, it'll be like an organic Gann fan. I wish I could get that to stay in the drawing mode. So this should be this is supposed to fail here, according to resistance. And we actually survived this down here. So in this mode, if you're into that stuff. So, of course, if you look at the daily chart, and you probably want to zoom in for that. So, daily chart says you should be selling every rally, but it looks a little scary to do that on the structure. And I don't really know if I'd want to run this cloud on the daily. It kind of defeats the purpose because that's really a weekly chart at that point. See, the weeklies, you can make the argument the weekly is totally bullish in the cloud. We've got a double top becoming a bottom, and you can claim that you're in the trend. So I save that template and I can put it on anything here. I might have to take off the grid for some of these currencies. But that is the cloud. Let me see, I want to throw it on something. EuroCAD. See what it looks like. I'm calling it, there you go. So there's closing prices on top of the monster cloud. So yeah, you could run it on the 1 minute chart. At least it would smooth out the data for you. 5 minute chart. I mean, it's kind of useless here when the spread is really bad, probably coming into Asia tonight. But you have to have a rule set for that. Here's a nice, it's still blue. And you got this structure issue. Obviously, big monster pivot. Daily EuroCAD, insane. According to this cloud system, it's try to buy it down here. Supposedly it's an uptrend right now. So is it an uptrend? Like I say, just because it's blue here does not mean you're in a downtrend. You can't just be that. I just don't think you can be that way about it. If that was true, you could run a robot in about 40 seconds. Just do this when this happens, because the situation here is this is a 300 pip move. There's 100 pip moves in there. There's all sorts of noise down here that's worth so much money that I don't even know why you would bother. I guess if you looked at this once a month, I bet there's 2 good trades a month on the daily with the cloud, because the cloud's 4 period smooth. You know, smoothing. You got 4 period moving average of reality. Okay, so it looks like the stock market's going to go through the roof still. Still, that's where we're going. Inflation city. Everybody's rich. Here's US dollar stuck in the middle. Pound CAD on a tear. Let me look at my crystal ball, my cloud. Oh, see, bullish. I knew it. I told you. See, it's okay to buy. Even on the weekly. Daily's just going back to a normal operating procedure. So yeah, you can get some really nice, I mean, who's not buying that? They're about to crush into this window up here. Anything above there is going to be psychotic. Anyways, that's a cloud. Good luck with the cloud. Probably blow up your account.